Sokushin Jobutsugi, or Transforming One's Body, by Kûkai. The body as the six great elements, the four mandalas, and the world. I have awakened myself to the originally non-arising, leaped far beyond the path of languages, and attained deliverance from all suffering. Extricating myself from the chain of causes and conditions, I have understood the emptiness that is just like empty space. This is a verse uttered by Mahavairocana Tathagata in the Mahavairocana Sutra, the text that gives as one of the Tathagata's seed mantras, Avirahum Kam. The letter A corresponds to the originally non-arising, which is none other than earth. The letter Va, the Sanskrit character that has to be written first to yield the Sanskrit character V, indicates leaping far beyond the path of languages, the function of element water. Purity and freedom from suffering is the work of the letter Ra, fire, and not to be captured by karmic causation is the letter Ha, the character that serves as the basis for drawing the letter Hum, wind. Just like empty space is the letter Ka, space. Finally, I have awakened is consciousness. In another verse, Lord Mahavairocana proclaims, taking forms analogous to living beings, I skillfully manifest the dharma-ness of all phenomenal existence. Thus established, one after another, are all the world-saving Buddhas, Shravakas, Pratyeka Buddhas, heroic bodhisattvas, all human teachers, then finally the worlds of all sentient and non-sentient beings. What sort of picture does this verse attempt to present? It demonstrates how the six great elements, which are the constituents of Mahavairocana's body, give rise to the four forms of the Dharmakaya's mandalas, of worldly appearance, symbols, words, and actions, and the three kinds of world, of enlightened beings, living beings, and material existence. What is called all phenomenal existence signifies mind. Dharma-ness points to forms. That is to say, all phenomenal existence concerns names commonly shared by diverse things, while dharma-ness indicates differences among things. Therefore, the verse says, thus established, one after another, are all the world-saving Buddhas, Shravakas, Pratyeka Buddhas, heroic bodhisattvas, all human teachers, then finally the world of all sentient and non-sentient beings. All phenomenal things means the mandala of words, dharma-ness, the mandala made of the Dharmakaya's symbolic bodies. The beings listed as Buddhas, Shravakas, Pratyeka Buddhas, bodhisattvas, teachers, and sentient beings are the bodies making up the mandalas of worldly appearance. The world of non-sentient beings provides the ground on which the lives of these beings unfold. The world of non-sentient beings is a general term to refer to the mandala made of symbols. The Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Shravakas, and Pratyeka Buddhas in the verse correspond to the world of enlightened beings, the sentient beings, the world of living beings, and non-sentient beings, the world of material existence. The one that skillfully manifests these beings of the verse is none other than the six great elements, and those manifested are those analogous to living beings. Namely, they are the four forms of the Dharmakaya and the three kinds of world. In the same scripture, it is also stated by Mahavairocana, O Lord of Secrecy, Vajrasattva, there is a method of building mandalas with all sorts of divinities rightly distributed and positioned, complete with their seed mantras and attributes. Listen clearly, now I explain this to you. He then expounded the following verse. Practitioner of mantra, by means of your visualizing exercise, place circular altars in your body. Generate the great Vajra disc in the area between your feet and navel. Then between navel and chest visualize the water disc. Above the water disc is the fire disc, and on top of it locate the wind disc. The Vajra disc is formed of the letter A, which is the earth. As for the meaning of the discs of water, fire, and wind, the line already clearly expresses it. The circular altars indicate emptiness. Practitioner of mantra means consciousness, the sixth element. The divinities described in the prose are the Dharmakaya's bodies in their worldly manifestations. Their seed mantras are the Dharmakaya's bodies made of words, and their attributes its bodies made of symbols. The Dharmakaya's bodies made of action are already ingrained in these three bodies. Body, language, and non-duality. According to the exoteric teaching, the four great elements are non-sentient existence. However, according to the esoteric teaching, they are none other than the Tathagata's symbolic bodies. The four great elements do not exist separately from mind. Although mind is distinguished from form, they share the same nature. Form is mind, mind is forms. They interfuse with one another without difficulty. Therefore, knowing is the objects of knowledge, and the objects knowing. Knowing is reality, reality knowing. Although there seems to be a distinction between creating and the created, they freely intertwine. Because ultimately all things transcend the division between creating and the created, how is it possible for naturally existing reality to be created? All names such as creating and the created are the secret names of esoteric Buddhist divinities. Do not indulge yourself in all sorts of sophistry by attaching yourself to conventional and shallow usage of these terms. All things invariably make up Tathagata's bodies, the bodies made up of the six great elements, the essentials of the universe of the Dharma. These bodies constantly interpenetrate with one another, yet grounded firmly in reality, they remain eternally unchanged. Making your body enlightened a speedy process. It is said in another scripture, each letter of the Mahavairocana Buddha's three-letter mantra, Om Bu Kam, is boundless. When you empower your heart by concentrating there, the power of this mantra and the mudra attached to it, the mirror wisdom is formed there in your heart, and you will obtain the adamantine Vajra body, which is bodhicitta. When you empower your forehead in the same manner, the wisdom of equality is formed there, and you will obtain the body adorned by all sorts of fortune, the body of a bodhisattva designated to be the crown prince of Dharma. When you empower your mouth, the wisdom of subtle observation is formed there, and you will obtain the body of the Buddha's wisdom, the body capable of turning the wheel of Dharma. When you empower the crown of your head, the wisdom of action is formed there, and you will obtain the body of Buddha's miraculous transformation that conquers those evil beings hardest to conquer. Finally, when you empower yourself by means of these mudra and mantra, you will obtain Mahavairocana Buddha's body as boundless as the entire universe and as empty space, the body which is none other than the wisdom of the essential nature of the universe. According to another scripture, when you immerse yourself in the meditation of the Dharmakaya's reality, each and every karmic relation becomes equal to all other karmic relations, and each and every form is equal to all other forms. Just like a space within empty space, they become indistinguishable from each other. When you concentrate yourself in this meditation and practice it incessantly, you will directly enter the first stage of enlightenment in this very life and instantly accumulate within yourself merit and wisdom that can normally be collected by a bodhisattva only at the end of his or her countless transmigratory lives across an immeasurably extensive eon. Because multitudes of Tathagatas will shower you with their empowering blessings, you will pass through the final stages of Bodhisattva's enlightenment and attain transcendental wisdom. Now you will see no difference between yourself and others, because both you and others equally are bodies of Dharmakaya. With unconditioned great compassion, you will accomplish great works of Buddhas by providing benefit to countless living beings. In yet another scripture, it is said, ground your practice on ritual meditation in the innately awakened wisdom expounded by Vairocana Buddha, a self-transformation of the Dharmakaya. Base your knowledge on the wisdom embodied in Vajrasattva, the great universally good, another self-transformation of the Dharmakaya. Then, in this life of yours, you will be able to meet a mandala master and have him guide you into the mandala, the realm of enlightenment. Having completed the rite of upholding the esoteric precepts, you will dwell in the samadhi of the Bodhisattva Samantabhadra, the universally good. Then draw Vajrasattva into your body, the body that is also Samantabhadra's body. Because of the miraculous power of the Buddha's blessings protecting you, in an instant you will acquire countless methods of practicing meditation and chanting dharani. With a power beyond measure, you will even be able to transfigure the karmic seed of selfish attachment planted deep in the minds of your disciples. By that time, you will have accumulated in your body merit and wisdom that can normally be collected by a bodhisattva only at the end of his or her countless transmigratory lives across an immeasurably extensive eon. This will mark your rebirth in the family of Buddhas. You will become one who is born from the mind of all Tathagatas, born from Buddha's mouths, born from Buddha's Dharma, born from the teaching of the Dharma. You will become the one who inherits the wealth of Dharma, which is none other than the teaching of manifesting your enlightened mind by means of practice of the three mysteries. This line explains the merit you will acquire from your master's ritual empowerment when you receive for the first time the precepts of the enlightened mind from the master. As soon as you take even a glimpse of the mandala, you will instantly generate pure faith, because you will gaze at the divinities in the mandalas with a mind filled with joy. You will plant the seed of Vajradhatu, the enlightened realm inhabited by Vajra-holding divinities, in the alaya, the deepest region of your consciousness. This line describes the merit you will acquire when you observe for the first time the divinities in the mandala, an assembly vast as an ocean. You will then receive Abhisheka, initiation into esoteric teaching, and be given a name as a Vajra holder, a practitioner of esoteric teaching. From this moment on, you will acquire a vast, profound knowledge of esoteric practices that will enable you to leap over the two paths of Hinayana practices and the 10 stages of Bodhisattva practice. You incessantly ponder and train yourself in the teaching gate of great Vajrasattva's fivefold secret yoga, the meditative knowledge that transforms the four principal forms of delusion, desire, attachment, love, and gratification, into four female bodhisattvas personifying respectfully aspiration, commitment, compassion, and bliss in benefiting beings, the four paths by means of which Vajrasattva's pure enlightened mind engages in its saving activities. As a result, you will free yourself from attachment to the emptiness of both subject and object, reach the first stage of enlightenment in this life, and continue your spiritual ascent. Having mastered the fivefold secret, you will be neither tainted by nor attached to the dualistic division between samsara and nirvana. Dividing your body into the bodies of 10 billion beings, you playfully and skillfully enter into the 5 transmigratory realms of hell-dwellers, hungry ghosts, animals, fighting demons, and humans to benefit diverse living beings. With the act of helping them attain enlightenment, you will give yourself proof that you have already reached the spiritual state attained by Vajrasattva. This section explains the inconceivable merit accrued from practicing the rituals prescribed in esoteric Buddhist scriptures and ritual manuals. It is also said elsewhere, with the Vajra of the three mysteries serving as your karmic seed for growth, you will obtain the fruit of enlightenment, namely the 3 bodies of Vairocana Buddha, Dharmakaya, Sambhogakaya, and Nirmanakaya. All these scriptures describe the ritual practices of the samadhi that enable you to attain enlightenment with miraculous, inconceivable speed. Therefore, if you resolutely dedicate yourself to practice regularly, day and night, your body will soon be endowed with the 5 miraculous powers: universal vision, universal hearing, omnipresence, knowledge of one's own past and future karma, and the knowledge of reading the minds of others. Continue your practice, and then without abandoning this body of yours, you will enter the ranks of Buddhas.